Final 2 weeks of NASCAR incoming. Martinsville, tiny paperclip where we're going this weekend in the middle of Virginia, frankly, in the middle of nowhere. It's like going to a Bills game. Why is there a racetrack in this neighborhood? Anyway, NASCAR Guru Reps, CWV back with you for the FTA guys, college kids, all the friends out east. Good week last week for NASCAR. Worked out pretty well for us. Plus 1.91 units, 2-1 on the board. Hit the Chris Bell banger, plus 200, top 5. But here's the thing, and we give these things to you. We don't give them to you as official picks because the odds are long, but we gave you 2 outright winners last week. Gave you Bell at 1,400 and Reddick at 800. Reddick ends up top 5. Bell ends up winning the damn thing. And Bell wasn't great in qualifying. So you had a chance to get even cheaper. You could buy Bell 2,000 pre-race on Sunday. You could buy Bell top 5 250 pre-race on Sunday. Other thing came up on Sunday we loved. We loved Denny Hamlin, just thought he was too expensive. Well, he didn't qualify that well. Qualified 11-12. Ends up in the top 5 all day, leads a bunch of laps, and he and Truex both have mechanicals, have a wreck problem for one. Truex blows a motor for the other. Hamlin and Truex, 2 top Toyotas, go out essentially on the same lap and finish 29th and 30th. But anyway, Hamlin had qualified not that poorly, but the books kind of missed the point on it. Took him out to 300 on plus 5. So we shoved a bunch of our own on plus 300 top 5 for Denny Hamlin. Didn't win, but that's the kind of bet you need to be making. That's when you adjust late week after qualifying. You're going to see some buys come up as the books kind of change around. So we got your winners last week. Winners, the Bell top 5, big plus money. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in one of his 2 Xfinity races a year over Hemrick in a matchup, minus 110 is where he got that. And a loser, Christian Eckes, top 5, plus 120 in the truck race, was top 5 all day. Took a penalty in the pits, went to the back, boom, out of the playoffs. Will not be in the Final 4 at Phoenix. Again, we have 2 races to go. Martinsville for Xfinity and Cup this weekend. Phoenix, all 3 series have their championship in Phoenix the following weekend. What do we know here? Well, one, we got to start figuring in our season bets. And if you've been with us since the All-Star break in these videos, we've got just some season bets in. If you're with me on my side deal, the Discord and stuff online, we've got you preseason stuff. You hit your Chris Bell over 1.5 wins this week with us. We gave that back to you back in, I think, February. You've hit some more of that stuff. We gave you Will Byron a long time ago at 16-1. Hopefully you were with us early on and got some of that. But season bets are going to color the outrights this week, and you're going to see some value there. One of the things is, look, when you get to Phoenix, it'll be 4 guys in the final, 4 guys that can win the Cup. Most likely they will win that race. If you just had 4 identical drivers, the lines in each would be plus 300. So evaluate and look at some season bets here. Hamlin's on the cut line this week. He's also a plus 300 favorite to win the whole thing, which I don't get. He hasn't won at Martinsville in a while. He's been a top 3 car there repetitively, especially in the new car. But 300 is honestly too expensive, just like 300 was probably too expensive for Larson last week before he completely biffed and wrecked himself late. Almost rear-ended Blaney going to the pits. Anyway, if you're interested in some season bet value, Hamlin's 300 to win this week, but 1,200 to win the title. So 1,200 on that might be some value for next week. I've already got enough Hamlin at other prices, but if you still want to be in on Hamlin for next week, it would be better to buy him at 1,200 now, knowing he probably has to win the race this week, or it still would ensure things. But 1,200 is pretty fair value there. A couple of these fair value bets as well. Best prices sitting out there. Truex has got to win this week and win next week. He's 20-1. He was a regular season champ. He's 2,000 at Caesar. And again, same deal. He'll be 300 or more expensive next week. So sub that out. There may be a little bit of value there. Other season bet we like is one in Xfinity. And it's Sammy Smith. This was not my idea, but I saw it this morning on Wednesday, and I really, really like it. Sammy Smith, season bet. Got to win 2 races, basically, because he's still in the playoffs, 60-1. There's some 60-1 Sammy Smith out there in Xfinity. One of the best short track racers on the circuit. Has not had a great season. Is switching teams. Everyone's kind of like forgotten about him. He was second to Martinsville in the spring. Give me 60-1 on him. He'll be one of our key bets. He'll be a top 5 bet in our real picks here in a minute. But anyway, let's get back to the races. Cup, Martinsville. Hamlin around 300. They're softened out to 350. A lot of books already. Bunch of guys in the 700 area. That's going to be Byron. That's going to be Larson. Truex is faded out to 900 or 1,000. Blaney out in the 1,200 area. And beyond that, it just slopes off completely. Reddick in the mid-teens. Best bet is probably, of these again, real soft, real light play on this. Bell again to win. Bell's 2,000 at most books. He's 2,500 at Westgate right now. He won this race last year to get into the playoffs, to make the Final Four. He just won last week, and there are no consequences this week. He's got nothing to do with run for points. He can just go out and run this thing. And what is Bell best at? He's good at a lot of things. Flat tracks. He's an auto punch at New Hampshire, nearly as much of an auto punch here in Richmond. 20-1 on a guy who's in the Final Four who has no stakes this week, and it's just racing for fun. Love that. Because you're going to see, I think, Hamlin, Truex, some of these guys trying to conserve points and whatnot, save themselves. I like Bell out around 2,000. I don't like him to win, but I like Elliott out around 2,000. There's some value out there, I think, in some sub bets. This is one of his best tracks. I know he's been terrible since coming back from the injury, but Elliott in some like top 5, top 10 stuff. Elliott in some matchups. We'll get to that as well. Deep in the field, occasionally you have some wild top 10s come in here. Ryan Preece, of all people, led 150 laps in the spring. Got a pit penalty, went to the back, was never seen again. He's like 45-1 to win. Don't think it's a winner. I like the value on his top 10. He's out there at 200 for a top 10. I would nibble on that. And of the deep shots, guys who are really good here at super long odds, Allmendinger. If you see a top 10, 700 cheaper, that's pretty good. I don't think he'll get that price on Austin Dillon, but I would do the same with him. And Todd Gilliland. Todd Gilliland's won a truck race here. He's been really, really good in 2 cup races here. It's perfect. This is his format. He's a grown-up Sammy Smith, or at least 5 years older. Todd Gilliland, if you see him at a really cheap price, 900, 800, 1,000, that area. Nibble on some of that. I like these top 10 long shots. You saw we hit a couple of them last week. We talked about here in Allmendinger and Austin Dillon, who qualified top 10, stayed top 10 all day. So that's the story from there. Let's get to this kind of quickly. Gonna be a busy weekend, obviously. Saturday, Xfinity. Sunday Cup. Friday night, I believe, late models. I think only one Cup driver is moving down to get practice there, Ryan Preece, which is what he did last time when he qualified on the pole and led 150 laps. So he's out there getting track time on Thursday and Friday in the late models, and that's smart for him. Okay, what do we got? What do we like? Official plays. I mentioned Bell to win, not an official play. I would also endorse Bell top 5 at 250 or cheaper. That's not the official play. Actually, it's 300. There's some Bell 300 out there at 365 if they're in your state, or other guys who use the 365 lines. But again, this is the place, the bets we give you here, real close to even money. These are nice, easy, non-long shots. You don't feel scared. I don't know why this opened this cheap. Bell, top 10, 100 on 365. That's fine. Take that. That's one of the picks this week. Minus 105, I think it's Caesar, if you're looking for a more normal book. But Bell, top 10, around 100. I love that. Go. 2, Kyle Larson has been great here, was great here in the spring, has been good at this track and gotten better at it the last few times. He's really good in the new car, which the Toyota guys really haven't been. When I say Toyota guys, I mean Truex and Hamlin. Bell's good everywhere. Larson, top 5, plus money, plus 105 at Caesar, and sprinkle on him to win. There's some 800 at Superbook. Same thing with Byron. I would sprinkle on that as well. So those guys, Byron, Larson, Bell, outrights. Nibbling on Bell through top 10 here as an official. Larson is top 5 and an official. The other one we like, we mentioned Elliott. A lot of ways to play Elliott. There's top 10 at 100. Out there at 365 and other places, similar pricing. I'm going to go with Elliott over a guy who's terrible here and is in the playoffs and is going to be pressing this faded once we got the playoffs. That's Buscher. Elliott, minus 120. Might be cheaper out there, but it's minus 120 to open a DK. Elliott over Buscher. Elliott is dynamite here. This is like a road course for him. Rapidity of turns. There's some Dover dimensions to this as well in terms of the pace, the way you make your turns. But I like Elliott here. Find a way to get some Elliott in your book. Find a way to get basically all the Hendrick guys in your book, is where we are this week. My super secret favorite bet on all this. If you're looking for a way to play Bell that's unusual and frankly very, very cheap. And again, I throw you way too many Bell bets, but you've made money on Bell top fives all year. And you made a winner last week as second of the year. Bell, top Toyota, 8-1. 800 at Caesar, 700, 750 other places. He's just got to beat 5 cars. He's just got to beat Hamlin, Truex, Reddick, Bubba, and Gibbs. I like all those guys for different reasons. But Bell, 8-1, tiny, whatever your tiny play is, tenth of a unit, quarter unit, whatever, do something like that. Bell, 8-1, top Toyota, just got to beat 5 cars. Other names we'll throw out there, speaking of things we're going to play ourselves, but you don't have to because these are lanes. Gibbs top 10, 140. He's been great here in both Xfinity and limited cup outings. He's been incredibly good here. Gibbs is going to win eventually. I don't think it's this one, but he's been really, really good. Briscoe was really, really good here. Led a bunch of laps late. He's 175 for a top 10 at some places. I like that. We mentioned Priest, 200 at a top 10. Nibble on those. If you're looking for something a little down ticket, that's probably as good a way to do it as possible. What else do we like? I mentioned getting Byron in there. Winner at 800, fine. Top 5's out there for 140. That's probably a pretty safe play. He and Larson have been almost identical here, and they're basically the same price to win. Larson way more expensive for the top 5 than Byron. Byron's still playing for points a little. He's not locked into Phoenix like Bell and like Larson are, but I have a feeling he'll race this thing rather than just playing for points. So maybe nibble on Byron or be in that area. Okay, Xfinity race. What do we got? Super short track. Nemechek opens at like a ridiculous like plus 250 or whatever. He's the season points leader, probably wins the championship, and is moving up to Cup next year with Legacy. He's great. Too expensive to make any money on. Not going to touch that. What I will do is this. He's going to be a top 5. That top 5 is something dumb, like minus 300. Terrible buy. The guy I like here is Sammy Smith. In his first full season, Rookie of the Year, OBS. He's in the playoffs despite missing a race. He's short on points to win the playoffs. He was second at Martinsville in the spring. His specialty is short tracks. He's been really good at most of the shorts and the flats. He's switching teams. He's going to Dale Jr. next year from Toyota. So folks have kind of let back on him. He could flat out win this thing. I would nib 1,600 to win, but I would buy in hard an official pick. Sammy Smith, top 5, 250. 365's got it. It's 200 most other shops. I would play it either way. But Sammy Smith, short track, top 5, yes. And that sleeper, he's out there at 50 and 60 to 1 to win the title. It means he wins 2 races in a row. Well, he's great at Martinsville, nearly won in the spring, and he's pretty good at Phoenix. And that track fits the Toyotas and fits his game. So feeling really, really salty, a little bit of Sammy Smith at 50 or 60 to 1. Okay, 4 picks in the book. We talked about it. 2-1 last week. Plus 1.91 units, plus 18.3 units for the season, 45 and 33 for the season, 24% ROI, 58% winners. That's just what we do here. And I went back and did the back testing. Yeah, I'm better on plus money picks than minus money picks. So what does that say? It means we should take more risk. We'll take more risk next year. Maybe we'll take some risk with Phoenix next week. I'm the NASCAR Guru, Rob CWV. Thanks to the FTA guys, college kids, everyone around in the Intertron. Keep betting NASCAR. Let's get some wins in Virginia this week.